Most e-commerce owners we talk to are flying blind with their numbers. They'll show us a Shopify dashboard or what they see in Google Ads or Meta Ads, and it's all about top-line sales or ROAS. The problem is those views don't actually tell you if you're making money or if you're setting up next year's growth. You can have a 5x ROAS and still be unprofitable, or you can be profitable but massively missing opportunities to scale because you don't have the full picture. This is the difference between brands that plateau and brands that dominate. The big e-commerce players know their unit economics cold. They know what each order contributes, how much a new customer is worth, and exactly when to push harder. That's what allows them to compound growth year after year. That's why we built Profit Compass. It's not just another dashboard, it's a growth navigation system. It pulls your sales, your ad spend, and key costs into one clear picture. And it focuses on the metrics that actually drive growth: contribution margin, customer acquisition cost, and the balance between new and repeat customers. With that clarity, you can stop guessing, stop relying on lagging reports, and make confident scaling decisions in real time. The first key number is contribution margin. Many operators haven't heard of it, but it's simple. Net revenue minus COGS and shipping and merchant account fees and your ad spend. That's the money left over after each order to cover overhead and generate profit. For example, we start with gross revenue of 10 million. If we pull up the detailed breakout, we can see gross revenue here, 10 million minus shipping and handling, discounts, and refunds. You end up with 8 million, visually represented here. After net revenue, you remove your total cost of goods sold and end up with your gross profit of 5.4 million, also visually represented up here. Lastly, and most importantly, are all of your e-commerce variable costs, such as merchant account fees, your marketing spend, and your total customer acquisition costs, which obviously includes all of your ad spend. So these are your total variable costs to acquire a customer and to operate and to fulfill every incremental order, ending with your total contribution margin. In this example, we go from 10 million in gross revenue to a contribution margin of 1.3 million. After that, it's all about calculating your total fixed costs and other overhead to get to your EBITDA. But contribution margin is where we focus to ensure that you're scaling profitably and that there's enough profit left over to hit your EBITDA goals, whatever they may be. If contribution margin is negative, growth is just burning cash. If it's positive, you know every additional order is adding profit. This is why we look at contribution margin at not only a monthly level or weekly, but also a day over day level. And if it's strong, you can scale with confidence and not guess. That's what separates the good from the great. The best brands know their contribution margin down to the penny, and that's how they scale from 5 to 10 million, 10 to 50 million, 50 to 100 million without losing money along the way. Here's an example of how we can look at that at a more detailed level at a day over day contribution margin view. Here we see in this example, earlier in the month of December, we were scaling very profitably. Here it shows on this day, we had an overall blended ROAS of 3.7. We spent 44,000 in ads. Our gross revenue was 170K. Our new customers were 700. We were acquiring each new customer at $65 a customer. And our AMR, which is our total ad spend divided by our new customers, was a very high 2.7, resulting in a contribution margin that day of 43,000. What's important is looking at the numbers before and after this. You can see that as we scaled, as we pushed ad spend up, our contribution margin was going up. These are the key insights and key data points needed to make scaling decisions the right way and not leave money on the table. The other key most businesses miss is new customers. Revenue can look fine on paper, but if you're not growing your pool of net new customers, you're just recycling your database. That makes every year harder. More discounts, more emails, more pressure on retention. Profit Compass tracks exactly how many new customers you're acquiring, at what cost or CAC, and whether those acquisitions are profitable at the contribution margin level. Let's take a look at it here. Here we can see the monthly customers we're acquiring month over month and what percentage that makes up of our total revenue. It's key to know that overall, year over year, we're scaling our net new customers. Again, as mentioned earlier, you can have a false positive where your top line revenue is growing, but it's growing from database, recycling, promotions, and relying too much on your existing customers, masking a hidden problem where you're not really growing your business and your customer pool, which makes the following year an impossible task to hit your 10, 20, 30, 50% growth marks. New customers today equals repeat buyers, subscriptions, and reorders tomorrow. Growth compounds when you're adding net new profitably. If that number is shrinking, your future growth is shrinking too. Around those two anchors, contribution margin and new customers, we also show other key metrics every e-commerce operator should know on a weekly basis. This is your CAC, or your customer acquisition cost, your blended ROAS, and your marketing efficiency ratio, or MER, and your AMER. As mentioned earlier, again, your CAC is just your new customers divided by total ad spend. Here we can see we're acquiring customers in the last 2 months of the year at around $70 to $75 per customer. And we also know from all the metrics above that we reviewed before, our break-even CAC is around $80 to $90. And blended ROAS shows the overall efficiency of spend, while AMER isolates new customer performance to know if growth is incrementally profitable. It's key to look at all these metrics together, giving you a real-time view of whether scaling is driving more profit or just adding noise. This, combined with your contribution margin, is the data that you need to scale confidently. You cannot operate your e-commerce business and scaling and budget decisions on ROAS alone. There are tons of false positives buried into a ROAS-only number. Your scaling decisions shouldn't be emotional. They shouldn't be about chasing higher ROAS or pulling back when things feel tight. With Profit Compass, you'll know if adding 10K or 50K in ad spend will actually add profit to the bottom line, and if you're acquiring enough net new customers to fuel next year's growth. That changes the conversation from can we afford to spend more to how much profit will we add if we do. So in short, Profit Compass turns messy, disconnected data into a single, clear picture. It tells you, are we profitable today? Are we adding enough new customers for tomorrow? These are the two most important questions every e-commerce operator should know the answers to, and Profit Compass delivers them in real time.